So this year, I've had more people reaching out than ever before about moving from Florida to the Carolinas. So if you're planning to move to either Florida or North Carolina, you're stuck between the two of them, don't make a decision until you've watched this video because I'm going to cover what I tell most of the people that are looking to move to Charlotte from Florida, giving them some of the differences between each of these states, and we're going to cover it all here. So stick around until the end because at the end, I'm going to reveal one thing about Florida that most people end up regretting about moving there and living there. And I'm also going to reveal one major lifestyle benefit North Carolina offers that is completely underrated. Now, my name is James Lanius if you've not been to my channel before, and I work with families, retirees, couples, young professionals, all alike every single day, and I get calls and texts every single day off my YouTube channel. People looking to move to the greater Charlotte region and just looking to know more about money, finance, real estate, and everything in between. So if that's you, go ahead and reach out. My phone number is on the screen. Give me a call today if you need help on your real estate journey or just have questions about the Carolinas or about what it's like to actually live here. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some cost of living differences first between North Carolina and Florida. So overall cost of living, broad picture, North Carolina is a bit lower than most of the major metros in Florida, especially in cities like Miami, Tampa, and Orlando. And there is also, of course, no personal income tax in Florida, so that helps. But lower housing, utilities, groceries, and insurance in North Carolina generally make up the difference by quite a bit. Now, for example, homeowners insurance in Florida averages about $4,200 a year versus only $1,500 a year in North Carolina. And that's a huge difference. And of course, that's an average. Some different parts of each state are going to be higher and lower depending on where you're at, depending on how much, casualty and liability you have for where you live. And yeah, I've talked to several people who thought they were going to save money in Florida, and then they saw the hurricane premiums and the insurance premiums, and they were shocked by how much those ended up being and how much more they ended up paying with those, even if they saved a lot with that, no income tax. Now let's go and talk about weather and natural disasters. As you know, if you've been in Florida, you do have year-round sun, which is great, but you also are very hurricane prone. Obviously, you're on the southernmost coast. So in Florida, you have more long-term risk. You have rising insurance premiums because of these things. You have more seasonal variation in North Carolina, I would say. You have a spring and a fall that are amazing. A lot fewer natural disasters. There's not a lot of things that happen here, other than the occasional hurricane that makes its way up, but we just get most of the wind and the rain left over from it. Now, in North Carolina, you still have beaches on the, of course, East Coast, all up and down. You have really great mountains here, which you don't have in Florida, and you do have 4 seasons in North Carolina, not just that constant humidity that you get in Florida. North Carolina does give you sunny days. You have snowy mountains, lake towns, and beach weekends all within a few hours drive. So it's really diverse compared to Florida. If you really want some great beaches and you want some great tourist destinations and you want sun and summer all day, all the time, then you have it there and that's your place. But if you want a bit more variety, then North Carolina has most of that and more. All right, let's talk property taxes. So in North Carolina, property taxes are generally actually higher than its sister South Carolina, but still much lower than Florida in many cases. Some counties in Florida exceed 1.25% to 1.5%, whereas Charlotte, North Carolina, Mecklenburg County is only 0.96%. So that could be a significant difference. That's even lower in other counties surrounding that spot in North Carolina. Now, if you're buying a primary home, North Carolina can often give you more long-term predictability, whereas in, let's say you're buying a $400,000 home, your yearly property tax bill might be $5,000 in parts of Florida, but only $3,500 to $4,000 in North Carolina, depending on the county. And make sure you don't go anywhere because the next few points might completely change your mind if you're leaning one way, either North Carolina or Florida, and especially the reason why many longtime Florida residents are actually secretly moving, packing their bags, and heading north. So let's talk about retirement. So if you're a retiree and you're looking to move to each of these states, what are some of the differences? Well, Florida, as you know, has a long time been the retirement capital of the United States, but a lot of rising costs, traffic, and climate risks are pushing retirees north to South Carolina and North Carolina that I just mentioned. And North Carolina is actually becoming a top 5 retirement state due to the lower taxes, the access to good health care, 4 seasons, and a lot of peaceful towns with various degrees of geography and weather patterns. So areas like Lake Norman, Waxhaw, Hendersonville, and Pinehurst are booming with retirees, some of those popular destinations right now. So if you want to feel at peace in your golden years without the chaos, North Carolina does offer something Florida simply can't anymore. Now, family and education. If you're a family, you're looking to live in the state like we do, Florida school systems are highly varied. Some are really great and some are really struggling. Whereas North Carolina suburbs like Fort Mill, South Carolina, which borders North Carolina to the south of Charlotte, and Marvin and Weddington consistently rank in the top for schools and family amenities. Not to mention commute times in North Carolina suburbs are often much less than a lot of the Florida metro areas. So many families I talk to feel close-knit with their communities and their neighbors, and Charlotte area suburbs, I feel like, really give you that. Now, let's talk about some culture, some growth, some different job opportunities when it comes to both of these states. And obviously, Florida is going to give you much more of that vacation feel all year round. You're going to have tourists coming in all 12 months of the year, but North Carolina has less tourist destinations. That has a few in the mountains and on the beach, but not anything like Florida. People from all over the country come to Florida to vacation, whereas I would say more regionally, people come to some of those North Carolina destinations. And North Carolina does offer strong job growth as well in finance, tech, healthcare, logistics. Charlotte is home to Bank of America, making it the second largest banking destination in the US. Has Honeywell here, Truist, Lending Tree, and other top employers, and it has a balanced growth. I would say more so than Florida. Florida's a bit more transient, and it also has a growing startup and entrepreneurial scene and culture. You have tons of different businesses investing here, coming to town, choosing to make their home base Charlotte, and different parts of North Carolina like Raleigh, Asheville, a lot on the coast as well. So there's just a creative energy, I think, in Charlotte right now and in the Carolinas, and people are starting to notice. Now, for this next section, let's talk about where you actually want to live. So Florida, of course, you have a pretty high cost to be in some of the top areas like Orlando, Naples, Boca, St. Pete, whereas North Carolina, you get a lot more value per your dollar with hot suburbs like Waxhaw, Concord, Belmont, Raleigh, of course, Charlotte, Asheville, Mount Holly, Holly Springs, a lot of these different places that are just very highly appreciating and becoming more and more popular. And you have a better chance of building equity and resale value in North Carolina in markets that are still appreciating steadily, whereas a lot of Florida markets are declining actually. So it's a bit concerning. And a lot of my clients move here from Florida and tell me, I didn't realize how much more home I could get in a better school zone with less traffic. And it's just a win-win all year round. Now, let's talk about this hidden truth about Florida versus North Carolina that a lot of people don't realize, and that is a regret that a lot of Floridians have, and that's the constant upkeep of their home with the really brutal seasons, the hurricanes, the heat, and the ocean, rising HOA fees and insurance premiums, hidden storm risks, and just all these things that wear down people over time. Whereas the advantage, I think, of North Carolina is they have more lifestyle balance. You have the cost, safety, pace, and variety, everything that Carolinas has to offer. And Florida is, of course, still really great for some, like I mentioned at the beginning. If you want that year-round tourist scene, if you want that, humid beach feel, that kind of up-and-coming busy atmosphere that a lot of these Florida towns have to offer, then maybe Florida's the best fit for you. And if so, that's amazing. We go to Florida relatively once in a while, and it's a really nice spot. I've been there several times in my life, and they have great beaches, of course. But other than that, I don't think I would live there personally because I like variety. I like my mountains, and I like somewhat cooler weather. I like my fall weather. I like, changing leaves and all that, even though Florida has a lot of cool stuff to offer. And it's not just about hype, I would say. It's about how you feel living day to day, raising a family, building a life. And for so many people, North Carolina just checks so many of those boxes and just feels right, which is why so many people are moving here. So many people are moving from south to north here. So which is better? Well, it depends on your goals. For most families, buyers, and even retirees I talk to, North Carolina checks a lot of the boxes they're looking for, and Florida also checks some. And, biasedly, I think North Carolina is the winner, but let me know in the comments what you think. Obviously, We have some Floridians who love Florida, and that's why they live there. And you have people that, move to Florida if, their life depended on it. So let me know in the comments what you think. Obviously, we all have different opinions and different reasons for living where we live. I'd love to hear about it nicely. Be nice to each other in the comments would be good too. So overall, if you were deciding to move to Charlotte or Florida and you cannot figure out which one is best, I would love to help you figure that out. Shoot me a text or give me a call. My phone number is right here on the screen. I would love to help you navigate these waters of the real estate market, which is kind of crazy right now with rates changing, with crazy appreciation, with a lot of homes sitting on the market longer than they should. And I can just help you and guide you. I help people every day like you who call off my YouTube channel just looking for guidance and just looking to know more about the Carolinas, more about what it's like to live here, more about some of the financial sides of, being a resident in North or South Carolina. So yeah, go ahead and reach out right now. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more content about the Carolinas, about money, real estate, finance, about community tours. We do property tours. We do everything in between. And we would love it if you joined us on our journey of just adding value to the community and just educating people about our great states of the Carolinas. And other than that, we hope to see you in the next video. And even better, we hope to show you around our town very soon.